Home Show.
David from Greenway has a question about a parking makeover.
Yeah, he wants to replace this poorly built concrete, crushed granite parking lot here. It's a parking pad. He says he's not happy with how it came out. David writes, the current pad was installed by a landscaper and has not held up. It seems only landscapers do these because I can't find any other contractor who will come in and do the job. So is there a specification, Tom, for building a sturdy pad? Specifically, the correct stabilized substrate, how thick, and drainage and all that?
Well, first off, you can see in this picture that it's just pushing, as it gets wet, you drive a car on it, it's just pushing the rock into the dirt, which is not bad at this point because the more you push it in, it'll be part of the stabilization process. It's not going to harm you any, except when you have to have a tiller. Because what you're going to do is you're going to take Portland cement, and that is just bags of that powdery, dusty cement that's part of concrete that makes it all harden. And you're going to get an 80-pound bag and run about a 10 by 10 area, spread it all over, and till it in about 6 inches deep. And you can leave the gravel in there. You're going to pull some of it off the top, but you can leave the gravel and till it all in. And you're actually making a concrete base 6 inches deep with this Portland cement. And you're going to have a tamper, an electric tamper that's going to tamp this thing down. And yes, drainage is important. You want the water to drain off. If it puddles and you drive a car on it, it's so saturated, it's probably going to fail and start pushing the rock down into the dirt, even stabilized. So when you end up using the tamper, you're going to want it to drain a certain direction so it doesn't hold puddles of water. And I bet you this one didn't. It was for the years of running the car over it, it pushed that gravel down into the dirt. So once you do that, then you can go ahead and edge it and put your crushed granite if you want granite, or you can do just about anything. You could put pavers, you can put a lot of things down, but it'll have a nice solid base because that cement will harden over time and be just like a stabilized concrete platform or base substrate, if you want to use that word. I think that's better. But remember this, if you want to take it out and plant someday, they are not going to like that soil. And that's when you're going to have to call Danny, because they're going to tell you, take out about a foot of the soil, take it to the dump, come in with compost and topsoil, and then you can put your garden in, because it does poison the soil as far as something growing right there.
So this sounds like a job for Mike Ball. I'll bet you he could handle this.
Oh, yeah, landscaper, he does a lot of that stuff. And you know what? I'm going to say this, Charlie. He might have a little different approach. When I talk to Rudy about how I paint things and he preps, things that he paints, there's always a description, and there's always 2 or 3 ways of doing it, as long as you have the test of time. I know Mike does. He's been in this business as long as I've been in radio. I think actually even longer. So as far as that goes, these guys who do it, a lot, they have their tricks too. So I don't want people to do this. Tom said,
oh God,
don't do that.
Right.
Okay?
Right. No.
We hear that a lot. And I said one thing, they say one thing. You hire them, they're going to back it up. If they do what you tell them to do, they're going to say, hey, you told us to do it that way, so don't do that.
Well, to your point, knowing what you're doing, they may have had landscapers try to do this, but they probably weren't irrigators. And Mike Ball is a licensed irrigator, and that's going to be a really important part of this job. I run into this in the advertising business, Tom, where people say, well, radio doesn't work. No, your ad doesn't work. Radio works great. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's the same. So it's the same thing here. It's not that a landscaper was the wrong person. That it's possible that he got a landscaper who wasn't a licensed irrigator and didn't know how to do it right, and they were kind of faking it along. So give Mike Ball a call, and he will handle it for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Get an opinion from him for sure.
All
Put him on the list.
All right, we're happy to help you out, too. You got a question, go ahead and visit HomeShowRadio.com. Fill out that Ask Tom form, send it in. You know the drill. You know the thing. Go as Mr. Biden would say. Go ahead and send it in, and we'll post a video for you just like this at YouTube or Facebook or right here at HomeShowRadio.com.